Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, beautiful people. Welcome back to Royal Productions. All right, so before we get into this news and get started with everything, I want to talk to you guys about the age of Aquarius right now. I know you guys heard your own things about them, but just give me a second, give me like a couple minutes to explain what I think about what's happening, especially with the crypto market news and just the world in general and people's feelings and emotions and stuff like that. I'm not a professional or an advisor, so if you need help, make sure you seek that. We're just here to talk about things and bounce ideas off each other, okay? But let's take a look at these markets real quick, and then we'll get into this age of Aquarius information I have for you guys really quick. So the total market cap sitting at 2.68. All right, we have the fear and greed index at 49. It dropped down from 50. Not really much of a difference. All right, we got Bitcoin sitting at 80,000, Ethereum sitting at 22, XRP sitting at 144. Right now it looks like everything's ranging. It's in that medium area, but we got some news out today that might start making things come down a bit, but we will see. So the first thing I have for you guys today is a big nothing burger and A&Q with MicroStrategy Saylor on selling Bitcoin. So basically question them. It's an hour-long interview, as you guys can see here. You can watch it. I'll leave it down below if you guys want to see it. But yeah, he talks. We'll get into it. I really want to cover this, but we'll get into it. All right. Bank Lobbyists strike out against Clarity Act. Say bill would risk flight of bank deposits into payment of stablecoins, and that's what they're worried about. They're worried about losing their capital and liquidity. All right. Clarity Act in the flesh, unveiled by U.S. Senate Banking Committee before hearing. Okay, so the crypto hearing structure bill has already been making industry rounds and behind closed doors, but the lawmakers have now released the text before their vote. Okay, remember, all this information will be linked down below, even this information about the Clarity Act if you guys need that. Okay, next article I have for you is hot inflation data pours cold water on Federal Reserve rate cut hopes. So basically we had a rate cut, all right, and we can actually see that in the market right now. Okay, everything's red, all right, for the most part. We got some 24-hour greens here and 7-day greens, but mostly everything is gonna feel the effects of what's been happening right now. Okay, DTCC builds out blockchain-based collateral system with Chainlink integration. See, I told you guys in the last video I have to slow down when I read these alphabet company things. All right, and the last thing I have for you guys before we get into this Aquarius stuff, and Anthropic warns against unauthorized stock exposure as tokenized markets imply $1 trillion valuation. So they're basically saying yes, tokenized assets and stocks and stuff like that are cool. They're not against it. They're just against the whole idea of people putting private stocks onto the blockchain without permission from private companies and stuff like that. But we'll get into those right now. Let me cover something about the age of Aquarius really quick. So I'm gonna start off with this right here. Millionaires don't use astrology, the billionaires do. Let that sink in. And I listen, I'm not against or for anything. I am neutral. I believe in my own things, and I move in that direction. I think we have a problem in this world where what we feel and what we believe has to be validated by others. That's not how it is, okay? These people, these elites, the ones in control of everything, believe in this stuff. They know the Bible, okay? They know all of the ancient texts. They understand psychology. They know who we are as humans, as monsters, quote unquote, from Black Law Dictionary. But my point with this is they look up at the signs that are from the Most High. They look up at the signs that are from the universe for all of us. It's not just for a select handful of people. I'm not saying the whole idea of astrology should be worshipped or looked at as something. Break this down. Millionaires don't use astrology. The billionaires do. Okay? When you talk about astrology, it goes deeper than just astrology. It goes to the stars. It goes to the moon. They understand these retrogrades. They understand how Taurus plays a key part in the financial system. That's why we always have a lot of stuff happening in May and around this time, before summer hits and stuff. Anyways, my point being is, I'm not saying we're moving into the age of Aquarius. Let's just look at the signs from here, okay? So the age of Aquarius is the era of making a shifting from the previous age, right here, you guys can see I'm reading right here, believed to usher in to a new era of global consciousness, technology advancement, and community-driven social change. Have we not been seeing the spark from social, humanitarian, and people like these little wars and people like arguing and fighting over stuff that is petty, but it has to do with truth. It has to do with communication. Okay, so see the sign right here? This is the sign, okay? It's a line above and a line below with the sun in the middle, okay, or the light in the middle, consciousness, okay? Basically, it is a water bearer, but it is a air sign. So you have to understand what water represents in the occult, in knowledge, okay? He pours out information. Water is stored, information is stored in water, okay? If you don't believe that, then go look at the project of Emoto, okay, where he froze water and basically talked to it, and the molecules in the water froze to a particular energy. It's all about energy, frequency, speech, okay? Moving on. So unlike a watery emotional Piscean, which we came out of the Piscean age, we took 2-foot fish, broke them down, and fed the masses. Basically the multiplication, be fruitful, multiply, all of that, the 2 fishes. That's what it represents, okay? We're moving away from a mindset of belief into knowing we are one with the universe, not believing in God coming to save us. That's what it was about. And nowhere in the word, if you read any word, we're going to be saved. We must save ourselves, okay? I'm not saying we are the gods, but in a way we are. We have to create that realm here now. Heaven isn't a place you go. Hell isn't a place you go. It's here now. Okay, I'm not gonna get too deep into the Bible and stuff like that because I don't want to scare some people. But I'm neutral when it comes to this. I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. Even the word spiritual is getting on my nerves now because they say, "Oh, you're spiritual." Listen. It's between you and whoever your maker is. It doesn't matter. I don't care. You want to worship Satan, so be it. You want to worship Sky Daddy, Jesus Christ, so be it. It's up to you. My point with this is these people in charge know the changes they can't go against. They can't go against the code of the universe. They can't go against natural law. They know these planets that are shifting. They know the energy is shifting in the world. The only way they can get ahead of it, the only way they can, because remember, it's all about control for them. It's been about control for all these years, okay? But individual truth, okay? Once people, like blockchain is a way to keep people trapped, but then not trapped, because you can actually, with the blockchain technology that they're implementing into this Aquarian age, you're going to track everybody's individual truth. And that's what they want. They can't have people spreading individual truth and them not knowing about it. We are the creators. They are the builders. This is as simple as it is. We create, they build from our ideas. From every new phone you get is because of the way you use the phone from the last, right? So we have to understand that they're setting up this technology and stuff because the shift is gonna come. Okay, people's lifespan is going to probably increase. Like, you just have so much that goes into this age. And again, like I said, we might not be there, but just look around in the world and see what's truly happening. Like virtual communication, linking together, advancements in technology, rapid. We're moving fast and faster. So again, they believe in, they understand it. They're setting and implementing the system that they need to be in control and stay in control. Remember, information is there. The water bearer is pouring information into the masses. Now it's up to you. You're either going to live on this higher level of realm of thinking, or you're going to stay stuck on the lower realm of thinking. It is a divide. It is a separation. Okay? This is what it means. You reap what you sow. You will be separated. Okay? And to be honest, it's up to you. It's not up to me. It's not up to the next person. It's up to you to understand what's happening. Now, without any further ado, let's get into this news I have for you guys today. enough with the rant. I just thought I might cover that just because, you know what I mean? Just throw some other information out there for y'all. And like I said, like, I don't know anything. Always do your own research, okay? And if you find something else that is different from what I'm saying, please let me know. Drop it in the comments down below. I'm the type of person who loves dialogue. Even if I'm wrong, it doesn't matter. That's how we grow, okay? So basically, I'm not gonna cover this too much. If you guys want to see it, here it is right here. It's an hour-long video. It basically talks about how their quote for MicroStrategy was never to sell, but yet they're selling. And to be honest, this is what surprised me. Let me see, is down here when they talk about how much, dang it, where was it? Basically, their average buy price right now for Bitcoin is at like 75,000, and the price of Bitcoin is at 80,000. So you guys can read through this, look at it. He talks about the plan of selling some Bitcoin and then buying more Bitcoin to pay for dividends. Just doesn't make any sense, and it's more questionable than anything. So if you guys want, check it out down below, okay? All right, moving on to some more important news. So Bank Lobbyists strike out against Clarity Act. So over the weekend, it was a busy weekend. Of course, we had consensus all last week, and then this weekend people just took a lot of that information. It was like, oh dang, it is scary. So basically, American Banking Association is pressing for big changes in the Clarity Act, and we're going to cover some about the Clarity Act right now and why. Okay, so over the weekend, like I just said, ABA President Rob Nicholas fired an email to all his member bank chief executive, urging them to contact their representative senators to request they eliminate provisions in the bill that allow crypto firms to offer stablecoin rewards. These people are scared, trust me. Like we just covered, they know it's coming. They're losing their grip, okay? So we have to understand that them losing their grip, they're gonna try everything. This just right here screams to me insecurity. You know what I mean? You guys have been in control for so long, making so much money. You guys had to have known this day was gonna come. You have to understand that, like, when it comes to like evil, it will get rid of what it doesn't need anymore. It doesn't need these banks anymore. It has AI, it has crypto, okay? And you know, all the people who were working for them and helping them push along the agenda are now just getting tossed out with the trash. Okay, that's what's happening here. All right, some banks will make it and some won't. Okay, this just seems very weird to me. All right, moving on. So the crypto market structure bill had already been making its rounds in the industry. So basically more about the Crypto Clarity Act. I don't get too caught up in this because I really don't care. But basically, if you guys want to read it and see it for yourself, if you scroll down here, the articles will be linked down below. If you go right here to this part, you can click on it. It'll open this PDF, and it's 300 pages if you truly want to go through it. So it talks about like tokenized of securities. It talks about all that. The biggest part I think we should be looking at is around, I think, customer right here, customer protection, where it talks about like your savings clause. Let me see. I haven't went through it myself. I probably will later, but this is the final markup. So go through it if you care about all of this. This is big smoke screen. This is for them. It's not for us. This is for them. It is for us, but it's like, you know what I mean? Like, if you already been dealing with crypto and understand the taxes and all this stuff, then you don't have to worry about this. You know, just make sure you stay ahead of the curve when it comes to information and the rules and regulations if you're an investor, not financial advice. All right, moving on. So hot inflation data pours cold water on the Federal Reserve rate cut hope. So basically, like, consensus, everyone was in a good mood. We had a little bit of push. Everyone was there, you know, happy for the future of finance and what's going to happen. But then this week we have this coming out. So basically, inflation rose 0.6%. They said it was gonna go up about 0.2 to 0.3, so that would give you 5. But it ended up going up 0.6%, and it's at 3.8 year round. So we're gonna see a little bit of instability, I was gonna say, in the market. But yeah, not much. But I don't think people in the rest of the world have woken up yet. So we're gonna see what happens. All right, next thing I have for you guys: DTCC builds out blockchain-based collateral system with Chainlink. So I'm only bringing this up because Chainlink might be something to pay attention to, just because of what they're building here with the DTCC. but the platform enables tokenized collaterals on blockchain rails and uses smart contracts to enable 24 automated collateral management across financial markets. And I think that's where, because like they were talking about NFTs and stuff of that nature at consensus, and they're talking about it's dead. Some people say it's alive. I think NFTs are going to go hand in hand with smart contracts, especially when you're talking about art and smart contracts, where it's like you can put a Mona Lisa on a smart contract and an NFT, so you hold a digital form and the real form. Okay, when you sell the real form, you got to give up the digital form, or vice versa. You know what I mean? You can hold the digital form and keep your Mona Lisa in the bank somewhere, so people know it's yours. If you don't want to keep it up at your house. If it was me, I would buy the Mona Lisa, put it in a bank, have someone create an exact replica of it, and put it on my wall. Like, I own both. Okay, one's stored away. Here's my, NFT to prove that I own it. If you want to ask or care, or even if I care about, I just think that NFTs in the future are going to be important, especially when you talk about Jordans and crazy stuff. People like to collect Pokemon cards. It's going to be a thing. Okay, but they're talking about the platform tokenized collateral on the blockchain rails and use smart contracts, basically. So they're moving forward. Like we always say here, the future of in this industry and crypto and finance is moving forward into something different, and we have to stay ahead of the ball. Okay, it is getting pushed down the court more and more every day, and I'm here to drop the news. You guys take it, leave it, do what you want with it. All right, moving on. So we just covered how DTCC is talking about tokenizing collateral on the blockchain. So basically, Anthropic warns against unauthorized stock exposure as token markets imply trillions of dollar valuation. So basically, you have to understand there's private and then there's open to the public, where people can invest in certain stocks and stuff. So now we're at a different pivotal moment where it's like, okay, we can tokenize things. We can bring these stocks into the blockchain and onto the market. But now we have to not get permission, but we have to understand who wants to be a part of it and who doesn't. You know what I mean? Because this is a little different because it's a private stock. But I'm just thinking in general, it's like, do some of these companies want to be put onto? Because Warren Buffett is sitting out and he has about 300, I think, billion in cash right now. And he's basically stating that like the new market infrastructure when it comes to stocks and things of that nature are going to be completely different from before, where before you were able to look at a company and see if it had potential growth. Now it's so much BS, like what's happening with GameStop and a couple of groups like that. So many people have come in, AI, you got bots pushing and dumping the market. That's why if you're going to get into crypto and trade, be careful with leveraging. Okay, I'm pretty sure you guys know that. And if you don't leverage too much. Stick to what works for you. Okay, remember, it's all about your individuality. Learn who you are. What is your individual truth? Let all the noise be the noise. Listen to the signals. And I'm not talking about being selfish. I'm talking about you cannot help others unless you're the best version of yourself. And how do you do that? You work on yourself. Okay, my name is Louis. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.